justfatbaby.com, and that's PHAT. We're also on TikTok and Instagram, and those names are ATB underscore RI and neat. Good afternoon.
Perfect.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Good
go ahead.
afternoon.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. I am DominIque Tony. I am also the co-author of It's Just Fat Baby. Ria and I have been friends for almost 2 decades. So a lot there to unpack with that.
All right. So I guess my first question, because I'm all about friendships, and so we're going to talk about relationships. How did you two meet and get together to create It's Just Fat Baby and everything around it?
So we met in high school. We went to an all-girl high school here in Cleveland, Ohio. Over the years, we both have shared different stories with one another about how our weight or perception of ourselves has impacted relationships with others, including families, friends, and romantic relationships. So, in one of those conversations, we said, hey, let's just maybe write a book and share our experiences with other people so we can help somebody else out and help them to be comfortable in their body and not wait as long as we may have, to learn how to love yourself.
That's a big one, right? Because high school, I think everyone's body's changing at that
Mm-hmm.
point, right? It's not what it used to be. Oh, I'm 40 now. My body's not what it used to be in his 30s and 20s. So it's
Right.
always it's always changing. What impact did you see it have that your body had on either of you at that point as you're looking back?
Well, that's a really good question to ask because even at some point in the book, I talk about how in high school, I feel like I was a little bit more confident. And that could be due to the fact that we did go to a single sex school. It was all females. There was no pressure from the opposite sex at that time. And I just, feel that, I was headed to college. I was doing well in school. I had like a part time job. I felt really secure within myself. So, I feel like I was definitely more confident in high school, although my style of dress was not typically like super feminine. I was like a tomboy because I had learned the way to dress for my body type at the time.
How about yourself? Was there any issues looking back that you thought, okay, I kind of viewed myself differently?
I would definitely say that looking back, I definitely viewed myself differently. As Ria said, you learn how to adapt to your weight, you learn how to adapt to what other people may think of you. And with that adaptation, you really don't know who you are because you're adapting to society's view or your peers or the people around you. So I would say looking back, I never really until I was an adult learned, well, what do you like, and in really understanding what I was comfortable with within my own skin.
So, Dominique, then how did you become comfortable in your own skin? Like, with what steps did you take, or how did you come to that realization, saying that I am comfortable in my body now, and I'm going to continue to behave that way as well, or at least show those signs?
I think with growth, it was really understanding that people aren't paying that much attention to you. I think a lot of times we're in our head and we think that everybody is looking or everybody is paying attention. And I've started to recognize people do not care. And people are attracted to confidence. So it's as I begin to try different things, it was like, okay, I can maybe wear this, or I am comfortable doing this, and I think that was the change for me. But that didn't happen until I went to college. And when I went to college, I started exercising and losing weight. And I think that also added to it. But then I also, like I said, had that realization that people aren't paying that close of attention to you either. And the conversations that I had with people were, they thought I was great. So it was sometimes you don't recognize other people see these positives in you that you don't see. So I think that was also the confidence booster that I didn't have to change who I was for acceptance or anything. I could have continued just being myself.
Would that be safe to say that you both thought you were on, was it the skinnier side or the bigger side back then? just for
Oh,
context.
I've been plus size my entire life up until about the age of 38, maybe. You know, being familiar in a heavier set body was nothing new for me. That's all I ever known. So, um, yeah, I had weight loss surgery in 2021, but that was just a personal decision I made to just kind of I felt like I was on a hamster wheel of health and wellness maintenance, like crash diets and trying to, pursue different personal trainers or fitness groups. And that just happens to be the tool that has worked for me so far. But I've always been plus size, heavy set, and I kind of still mentally identify as someone who is plus size because that is what I've known majority of my life.
I asked that because in high school, as you two mentioned, I was the other way. I think I was like 100 pounds in high school.
Mhm.
So I was going the other way, and I think for a man that was for a teenager I was growing into a man that's like really skinny. So I had the other
Mhm.
I still had body image issues,
Yeah.
right? But it was on the other side. So one of the things that I did was I just tried to get more fit. So I was in the gym like every other day between classes, right? And one thing that I learned was that it doesn't matter how much weight that I gained, or
Mm.
in some other cases how much weight they lost. I had to find value outside of my body,
Right.
right? That was the biggest thing. And the way that I did that is I trained my mind, body, and soul. I said, okay, what else am I going to find value out of instead of how people are going to judge me? Sure, the people are still going to judge me,
Right.
but to both of your points, people are still going to love you as well. You need to seek out those that are loving you. What are some of the ways, Dominique, that you're finding value in yourself outside of your body image?
I would say have found a lot of value in my career in being a mother. Um, and those things are outside of course people still look at you and people still judge you in your outer appearance, but I've found that as I've grown professionally, I'm a social worker by trade, that I have learned and apply a lot of those skills that I've, in terms of positive self affirmations, and no matter what I'm experiencing, really kind of hyping myself up. I think that has assisted me, but really being able to be a career woman and being a mother has helped me have more self-worth and not really pay attention because the scale is going to yo-yo, especially after I had children. So I've been all over the place, I guess, weight wise, and can identify, but it also is understanding that it's more important to be healthy too,
Hmm.
and it's most important about how you feel about yourself and being happy and making those changes not for other people but for yourself ultimately.
Yeah, what are some of the ways that you found value for yourself, self-worth outside of your body image?
Oh, well, you know what? I can agree with Dominique. I've been a nurse for 20 years now. So just taking on different professional roles
Mhm.
as a nurse. Dominique and I completing our book together. A lot of people can sit down and say, "Oh, I really want to write a book," but we actually sat down and we completed this huge goal
That's
together.
true.
Working on our all things best company or brand. I really find a lot of enjoyment in that because I know that behind it is like a positive mission. We really want to support people. We want to uplift people. We want to motivate people. And we also just, again, want to remind people whatever that they're going through, they're not alone. We just so happens to be well versed in the issue with self-esteem, body image, challenges with weight. And so that is just, where we kind of stand strong together in helping people work through those different issues. But, I just find value in going to the gym, spending time with real family and real friends,
Mm-hmm.
and just, not really focusing on what other people have to say or think about my outer appearance anymore. It's just, I wake up, I do my thing, I find enjoyment in the hobbies and activities that I'm engaged in, and that's pretty much it.
The world is such a better place when you only have good people around you, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
it makes a big difference.
it truly does.
Yeah, the power of community, it's so, so important. It's just Fat
Mhm.
Baby. Take us through that. What does that title mean for those who may or may not know?
Well, when we were finished writing our book, we came up with the acronym for PHAT, PHAT, which is persevere, healing, advocacy, and triumph. So those are just some key words that we thought would be really good. It fit the message of our book. It kind of goes in alignment with our mission to just keep people, encouraged, to keep them motivated, to keep them in a positive, forward thinking way when it comes to issues or challenges that they have with self-esteem, body acceptance, and just wanting to become a better person for you. Whenever you're working on any type of self-change, like DominIque had mentioned, your intention should be doing it for yourself and not necessarily to please other people around you.
Dominique, what are your thoughts on that name? What does it mean to you?
To me, when we came up with that acronym, we really were intentional about, well, where were we in our journey of self-discovery and healing? And that's why we were able to say, okay, we did persevere. Yeah. We are still healing. We continue to advocate for ourselves, and we had to find our voice and learn how to advocate. So I think that's why that's a big deal. And in terms of triumph, I think you have to celebrate those small wins and even the big ones. And I think that this has been a win for us. Like Ria said, we wrote this book and we really put everything out there. It was stories that we shared that we had never shared with our parents, just kind of those stories that shaped who we are as individuals when you talk about trauma. And I know when people hear the word trauma, they automatically think that it's something awful, but trauma is whatever is traumatic to you.
Yes.
So I think that we held on to the words of other people or the situations that occurred, and that then led to how we felt about ourselves and that poor self-image and lack of esteem. So to me, I think the acronym is powerful because it is us taking back a word. And often when we work with people, we tell them to choose a word that has affected them, and take that power back. So we wanted to take the power back from fat, and that's why we also spelled it PHAT. And then it's been popular, like you said, in pop culture. So we just wanted to change the narrative for us and for our readers.
I love the positive spin. And I love that you both exude the positivity, because from what you've shared, you didn't have to be where you are now, but you chose to be there. And I think that is very, very powerful. When it comes to others who are, let's say, walking a similar journey that the two of you have walked, what advice would you want to give them because you learned it along your own journey? We can start with Ria first.
Oh, I think one of the biggest things that I would kind of recommend someone to do is evaluate the people who are in your life or that you spend the most time with. People who are negative thinking, people who are constantly like going through drama, those are energy drainers for you, and it kind of takes away from whatever goal that you want to work on for yourself. I'm very big now on preserving my energy and really keeping in close contact with people who are motivated to do the same things that I am, or they're just, looking at the glass half full as opposed to it being half empty all the time. Because you really have to set your mind to a positive intent to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish. And if you're hanging around people or spending majority of your time with people who are so like negative, they're always going through something, they have their own mental health issues, which that's not the issue, but if they don't know how to manage those issues, you can take that on and it, takes
That's
away
so
from you.
It's so true.
Dominique, what's something that you'd give to people who are on the similar journey as yourself as advice?
I agree with Ria, and I think one important thing to remember, and it took me a long time to see this, and as somebody in my 40s now, I can understand that hurt people hurt people. And you never know what somebody else is experiencing or what hurt they have, going on behind closed doors. So it's important to give people grace. Ria says I always give people grace, but I do think
She
it's
does.
important. to give people grace and not internalize
Mm.
everything that somebody says to you. So I've learned not to be offended so quickly
That's good.
and learn how to take a step back and try to look through the person's lens versus my lens, but that's also difficult. But I think also it's really important to say my peace is worth everything, like Ria was pretty much saying. So if someone is breaking your peace and taking that peace away from you, that is not a relationship that you need to be in, or you need to have a conversation with them. You know, if it's a relationship that you think is worth salvaging. But I think those are the two biggest things: is keep your peace no matter what, and give
Yeah,
people grace.
and that's really wise, especially the peace part, because man, I look at I'm a mid 80s baby, right? And I remember like 90s, you probably, at least from my perspective, and I'll get your perspective, ladies, it seemed like there was a little bit more of an acceptance on the different body types, right? And what I mean that is you started to see different types in, let's say, music videos, TVs, and things like
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mhm.
right? Just the
Yes.
difference.
Mhm.
Now, I guess with the rise of social media, when I had Instagram, it was, and maybe this is my algorithm telling on me, it was basically the same type of body shape. And I'm like, wow, like where did all the people I grew up with go, right? Like did they pass away?
Um,
Did they move
oh
planets
Lord.
or something else, right? Because I just don't remember seeing it. And then you started to hear about the surgeries, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
People getting this done, that done, this done. And I remember I saw someone who shared a before and after,
Uh-huh.
and it was a woman, and I was like, she was pretty before, at least to me,
Yeah.
right? She'll good before, and then she got all this surgery, and then I started to think, in her mind, she wasn't satisfied with the body that she had,
Mhm.
so she had to do all these things for whatever the reason, right? Just based on the journey she shared, and it goes back
Right.
to your point that you both shared earlier, where it's I viewed myself this way, even though other people had love for me, but all I could think about at the time was the negative. I don't like my arm. I don't like my belly. I don't like my thighs, or
Right.
whatever the case is. When you both look at, let's say, social media and the impact of society, what are some of the things that you see that kind of raises your antenna? You're like, okay, there's a little bit of caution here because maybe some people are going through a difficult time with their own body image.
Go ahead.
Well, I will agree with you in terms of Instagram. I don't visit my personal Instagram anymore just because I feel that Instagram is just, people are not really as authentic on Instagram, in my opinion, as they are on TikTok. I think people are just more, kind of displaying their positives and negatives on TikTok. I really enjoy looking at like fitness, health and wellness content. I like looking at fashion on TikTok. So that's just, what my algorithm tends to feed me. But I do feel like from the things that I've seen, all body types are celebrated. I don't necessarily get feed from a certain or a particular body group, or like for example, like a BBL baddie. I don't get a lot of that. I get a lot of well-rounded, like fashionable, just people out and about enjoying their day, making good content, and they're just celebrating themselves at no matter what size they are. So I do feel like social media in that aspect on TikTok has been really good to just be more of a welcoming community. People are hyping each other up in the comments. They're giving great compliments. And it doesn't matter if you're a size 00 or if you're a size 26. So that's what I really can appreciate about the TikTok aspect of body image currently that I.
Dominique, what's your experience when it comes to social media and its impact on body image?
I am a person that I'm on social media, but then I'm not on social media. But I will say that I agree with you, but I also agree with Ria. I agree with both because I do think that, especially for teens and young
Mm-hmm.
kids, there is the same person that they're seeing. You know, it's the same image in terms of even the hairstyles we wear now, the
Oh, yeah.
clothes. Everybody is within that same image. And then you have the girls, the young girls who may be a little bit on the bigger side and they want to wear a crop top, and they do because we're in this body positive space.
Mhm.
But I think that there is a lot of pressure. I think there is still a lot of pressure to fix or change
Yes.
yourself to be status quo. And I think that's the problem. And in the 90s, I agree with you. It was very different because you were seeing everybody. It wasn't a particular body type. It wasn't a particular, it was fads and it was trends, but it was more real. And I think that's what we're missing is we're not real anymore. That's concerning to me. But I do think that the body positive piece is great because you can be any size. Now, do I agree with all of it? Not necessarily, but I do love it. Like I think I really enjoy Lizzo. I think for that purpose is because she is, I know, on this health journey now, but she has been upfront and honest about her body.
She's always been herself, like
Right.
true authentic self.
No matter what.
No matter the size.
And I love that. I think it's positive to show that you want to get healthy, you want to lose weight, and she has gotten a lot of ridicule. So I think
Yeah.
we still haven't moved that far because she's still being ridiculed. She's still being called fat. Like even when she loses weight, that I have a problem with. I think
Mhm.
we should not fat shame people because we're not skinny shaming people. Like there are some people, to your point, that are too thin or may battle with anorexia or other diseases. So why are we so quick to shame somebody that is overweight, and we still fat shame children? So we've gone far but not far enough. We say, okay, we are body positive, we are more inclusive, but honestly, if you really get down to the nitty gritty of it, we are not. It's just we still want people to fall within this image in this category, and
That's digestible,
right
or acceptable for
Right.
like the mainstream.
And that's a small waist, a big butt. That's what's popular now. Lip fillers, everything. So yeah, I would like to see people be more natural. Personally, that's what I would like.
Now, I think if people are in a space where they want to enhance or they want to change or
Yeah, that's fine.
they want to have surgery for their
Mhm.
personal reasons, I think that's great because you have the free will to do that. However, I do think it becomes it becomes dangerous when you are getting surgeries back to back to back to back, because
Mhm.
unfortunately it sounds like you may be one of those people that no matter what you fix, you're going to find something else that needs correcting, or you think something else is broken. And I think those are situations where we want to encourage people to like kind of dig deep and go inward to see like, why do you feel like you're not good enough?
Right.
Because ultimately, you want to be good enough for you,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
right? To both of your points, because I could be good enough to 5 women. Let's say there's 10 women. I could be good enough to 5 women, but those other five, just not good enough. Somebody gets some surgery. Like guys are getting they're increasing their height now, right? Because that's always been a sore spot for men, where now they're getting, I think is the femur, if I remember correctly, they're getting it broken and then putting metal rods in there to extend their height.
Oh, that's
So,
crazy.
yeah, so so now, and they, when you do the surgery, you can no longer run ever again, right? You can
What?
walk, you can walk yeah, because there's like a
Because of those
gap.
rods, I'm sure.
There's a gap in between the
Mhm.
bones, so they have to put a rod there, and then the bone heals over it. So it's not your natural leg, and I say that in quotations because it technically still is, but there's a rod
Right.
there. And if you guys look it up, there's guys who've increased like 6 feet,
I
so now
am.
6 inches. So you could have a lot more men who are 6 feet and taller unnaturally.
Oh,
That's dangerous.
Yeah, so
wow.
that's where it's going now, where it's like we can be as comfortable as you can get the positive reinforcement, right, which is good.
Mhm.
Especially the positive weight and the body positivity, which is good. But to both of your points, there's some people that all they see is that too
Right.
skinny kid. All that see is that too big kid. All they see is that too short, too broke, right? Because it used to be you're too poor, right? If you remember growing up, that was the thing, right? You didn't want to be poor. Forget everything
Right.
else. You could be big poor, skinny poor, short poor. It didn't matter, right? Now, no one cares about being poor because we're all poor, right? So
Yeah.
it's the height, it's the weight, it's things like that. For the people that you both come in contact with and you're working with and you want to touch, you want to reach with the book and you want to continue that movement, when they look at the both of you, what is it that you want them to get to be inspired by yourselves? And I'll start with Ria.
Oh, I want them to look at us they after they read or before they decide to make the purchase. I want them to just know that these are two women who cannot be stopped. We have had so many experiences in life where somebody could have easily just wanted to just like throw in the towel, but I feel like we continue to support each other, and and people can naturally see that too in our interaction. Like we are just very positive, playful, but we're also very serious about making sure that people are understanding that this one bad chapter in your book is not the end of your story.
That's good.
And you're going to have many more after that, but that does not mean that your ending is going to be all bad. You can still be whatever you want it to be, and you don't have to settle because we're not settling and you shouldn't either.
Oh, absolutely.
Dominique, what do you want people to be inspired by when it comes to you?
I agree with that. And I think that is definitely we are resilient and we're just everyday people, right? So I think that's the positivity of it is we're just everyday people, somebody you could pick up the book and engage like we're just one of your other friends. And we want to be a friend to every person that is a reader and get them to understand that us sharing these vulnerable moments truly is to help somebody else live honestly, also love themselves and heal and know that like Ria said, the journey is just beginning, and we've had so many other changes since.
Yeah, since we even wrote our book. Yes.
So it is making the decision. I think, like you said, I want people to know that you have to make the decision, and we say this in the book, to be happy, to be whole, to heal. Make that decision every single day, and knowing that there are going to be hard days. It's going to be moments where you fall, but you have to get back up and truly believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. And hopefully you have a support network. And luckily we've had each other and we've had family. But we want to be that support for some people who don't. Right. So, we want to truly help, and it's genuine. It's not just about the book. It is truly a mission to really help.
I love that, especially the honesty. And you both said that you don't want to settle. And I think that's key. There's times where we hear the word settle is like, well, I don't want to settle for this type of lifestyle. So it's not necessarily that. It's like, for me, do I want to continue to be a better person?
Yes.
Right? However that may look like, right? Right now, I am like 175 pounds and I'm comfortable. If I were to die tomorrow, I'm happy with my life because I'm at peace and I'm at content, which is two words that you both used throughout, right? And you also share the community aspect, which I think is really, really big because we all need cheerleaders. We all
We
need
do.
people to celebrate us. Who's someone that you get your celebration from, who cheers you on? Like I know you mentioned Dominic. Is there someone else that maybe cheers you on that this is where I get my energy from?
Myself. And you know why? Because I've learned that you have to be your own biggest cheerleader. Truly do. Because I think we both, like in different situations, have experienced being let down or experienced disappointment from other people where we would have thought that they would have been more supportive or more excited or maybe would have been our biggest cheerleader and they weren't. So for maybe the last maybe 3 or 4 years now, I've just learned to be my own biggest cheerleader because nobody's going to cheer me on like me, Period.
That's funny. You know, you're 100% right. If you can't cheer yourself on, you can't expect other people to do so, right?
That's true. And you're gonna have a very disappointing life if you accomplish something big or you have some really special moments and you're expecting a certain reaction from people. And when you don't get it, it is gonna upset you. It's gonna infuriate you, especially if you've been supportive to those people in the past. So that's why I had to learn, like, girl, just be your own cheerleader. It's okay.
Dominique, who cheers you on? Yourself, other people, or maybe a combination?
I would say a combination. I definitely do that positive self talk, but I have people, I would guess, in more recent years, strategically around me that are positive, that cheer me on and, kind of pump me up, hype me up when I'm not able to. But I'm a very independent person, so I kind of
Yeah.
internalize anything everything anyway. So I agree with Ria, I have to talk myself down, but it's good to hear people even when you least expect it, again, kind of
Yeah.
tell you how great you are and how much they care for you. We all need that. So, and I know some people who don't, and that's where, depression and other things can creep in. So I'm just thankful that we do have support in each other and other people.
Yeah.
Because life is hard.
Let me ask you when it comes to that, because do see some people struggle with it. How did you both reach the point where you can cheer yourself on and continue to motivate yourselves?
Just for me, I got tired of being disappointed by people that I expected more from. So I just decided, I just gotta take the reins and be my own cheerleader. I gotta just, not run everything by people. If I choose that I want to do something or I'm making a certain, life decision, I just
Mhm.
have to be confident in my ability to, think freely. And if things work out, they work out. If not, if not. But I have to just live my life for myself, pursue whatever it is I want to pursue, go after what I want to go after without worrying about the opinions of other people, because their negativity can creep in and onto you. And I don't want that. I don't have time for that. So
Yeah, create that shield. Negative people to the left, positive people, come on over.
and it's not to say that, there aren't some days where, I just, have a down and out type of day, but that's just not my mentality. I'm more so, you know, on the up and up. And if I'm having a day where I'm just not feeling it, I keep to myself because I don't want that energy creeping on to other people.
Yeah, that's a good point. We don't know how we can impact other people when we're having a day that's not the best. I 100% agree with that.
Mhm.
Dominique, how were you able to achieve the ability to celebrate yourself?
Um, I would say it's twofold for me. I think that the household I grew up in, my parents celebrated me.
Mhm.
So when I was younger, people would always tell me I had like an inflamed ego. So I don't know. Maybe that's because my parents loved me. But I also think it's like prayer and my faith is really important to me. So I think that everything that I do, I pray about it.
Mhm.
I try to stay grounded in my faith, and that in itself has given me probably the most needed boost of confidence in my life. So,
I love that. There's days where I walk around, I think I'm the greatest person in the world. So I definitely know about celebrating oneself because there's days where there's days you're gonna feel that way, right? I'm pretty sure you guys have
Yeah.
where you just woke up one day, you're like, you know what? I'm the sexiest person in the world, and no one can tell
Yes.
me any differently, right? So tell me about a day, Ria, with you for yourself, where you just woke up and you're like, you know what? No one can tell me anything today because my confidence is on another level.
Actually, it was yesterday. I just got my hair done. My highlights are fresh. I got a fresh eyebrows done. A nice facial. I was just looking in the mirror like, you know what? You are her. Like, you cute for real. Because sometimes I do like to hype myself up. I walk past like, okay, I see you. Because hey, if I'm feeling it that day, I have to express it.
You stop for every mirror on your way, right?
Not every mirror, but it depends. It's this body mirror, I'm gonna do a double take. Like, yeah, I'm her.
Dominique, when's the last one? Tell me about a day where you just felt like, you know what, today is my day, and no one can tell me anything differently.
I don't know. I feel like it ebbs and flows for me. There are moments maybe in a day, but I agree with Ria that when you feel like you have a fresh hairstyle, and it's something about brows because I'm all about my brows that I'm currently growing out, but it is something about when you feel like everything kind of fits together. And I can't say a particular day, but I know that when I feel like those things are all in alignment and I have on the outfit, then that's the day. I'm like, okay, I feel great. I'm on a high. And sometimes it's just when that one person gives you the compliment too. You don't even know that you look however, and somebody really says something to you. It's like, oh, I guess I am doing something today. So that could happen, I don't know, once a week, once a month, once a year. But definitely there are moments that I'm always celebrating myself, and no matter how things have changed, because the older you get, things change.
Yes, so they do.
It is important to celebrate yourself. So,
and I also think it's important to compliment people too when we're out and about, and not just compliment. And I'm not talking about like body image or body shapes. I'm talking about if you see somebody out there in the world and you just love like their jacket, their shoes, their glasses, you love their hairstyle. I think we should just compliment people. Like I've started doing that more.
I do that too.
And it's crazy because I'm the type of person that if somebody compliments me, depending on who it's coming from, like if DominIque were to compliment me, I would take it just fine. And I would probably say something, silly afterwards. But like random people on the street or, someone at work that compliments me, I still get kind of shy about it. It's very weird. I can't explain it, but I love complimenting people. I think you should tell people, hey, you look good. Keep doing your thing.
I agree.
I absolutely agree, especially when if something away from their body, right? Like to a point, it could be a jacket, could be a hat, it could be sunglasses. Reminds me of a time I was at the mall and I saw this woman. She must have been in her 60s. She had her hair wrapped, but the wrap looked really nice, like a silky material. She had these sunglasses, she had the halter top, she had a blazer and dress pants. She was coming down the escalator, and I swear everybody was just, "Who's that?"
Oh wow!
Right? Because you know when you feel someone's confidence.
Yes.
It was like that. It was like the parting of the Red Sea in the Bible, right? It was just no one could tell her anything, regardless of her age, because sometimes people may think, "Oh, you're too old." She owned every single thing. She wasn't showing too much skin, but the confidence was there. She probably was, you know what? I'm gonna just one of those days. I'm just gonna walk here and celebrate myself. When you both said like getting your haircut, I'm gonna get a haircut later today, so I'm gonna have one of those moments after this.
You're gonna be in the mirror afterwards, huh?
Yep.
Barbershops have nothing but mirrors.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
So agreed.
I agree. I agree with the both of you when it comes to that. It's such a beautiful thing to see, especially, you know, I remember the last time I got a compliment and it made me feel really good because I did took time to get ready that day. And when someone's like, "Okay, I like that jacket. Where did you get it?" I felt nice that they appreciate it and they would ask
Yes, that's true.
about it, right? And I think we need to do more of that because you don't know. Someone could be having a bad day and you say, "Oh, okay, I really like your shoes," and that changes everything around.
Yeah,
that's true. Even saying hi to someone, I found, or if I'm in Target or a store and the cashier's having a hard day, I'll say, "Hi, how are you? You look like you're having a hard day." And then it goes into a conversation. So I think just taking the time to talk to people, that's what we really have lost, especially with social media and technology. People don't take the time to say hello. They don't take the time to talk. And I make a point, definitely to speak to somebody if they're having a hard day. Part of me is being a little funny with it, but also at the same time, let's have a conversation because you are frowned up. Something is going on. So I think just speak to people in general.
Yeah, I love that. Let me ask you both one final question, but I want to do it in the form of I want to give you three wishes. Okay. So I'm going to start with Ria. And you can't wish for more money because I don't have any to give. Okay, I saw the big smiles. I was like, okay, let me preface that first.
Oh man.
Ria, what are three things you wish people would take away from the book to benefit their life and why?
Ooh. Three things. Okay. So one thing is that wherever you are in your life currently, take it day by day. You can always change the narrative of your story. So that's one thing. Number two, I would say just wear it. Wear the thing. Wear whatever it is in your closet that you're questioning. Just put it on and just own it and just go throughout the world just knowing that you are that girl or you are that man. Just do it. The thing, wear the thing. Don't be so in your head about it because like DominIque mentioned earlier, nobody is really looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
And if they are, they may be ready to compliment you. Number 3, I would say life is hard, but so are you. And so whatever it is that you're going through right now, you will get through it. And yeah, and I feel like I want people to take those 3 points away because we've gone through our own experiences, we've supported each other, and we've been knocked down several times, but we have not let that keep us down. We've gotten back up stronger and harder every time.
I love that. I love that. DominIque, 3 things you wish people get from the book to help their life and why?
The first I would say is stop judging yourself. We all make mistakes. A lot of things about ourselves that we want to change, we can, some we can't. But love yourself regardless. So definitely stop judging. I would say second is learn and live, I guess, vicariously through us. Some mistakes you don't have to make. So as we share vulnerably mistakes that we have made or some of our challenges, I hope that some of our readers, especially young, old, and the same, definitely learn. And then I guess also the last thing, which will have to do with all of this, is I hope that they have, kind of that self-awareness and that wisdom as well, because I think that you have to get to know yourself. And we talked about that this entire, time, is that you can change everything about yourself, but you still have to know you at your core. You can't, you have to work on the inner man to really be happy with you.
Yeah.
So self-awareness is definitely something that I would want to push. A lot of people are not aware. And